What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Another What's a Game conversation. We got NarxCart Customs. Y'all guys need to definitely go check him out. Got some cool builds over there. Fun times over there. Y'all definitely will notice something about him whenever you watching his videos. Is there's a smile on his face. So he's having fun, man. And that's what it's about. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and bring him on in. What is going on? Can you hear me?
What's up, man? What's up? I'm in the shop tonight. I figured, yeah, I got you. Can you hear me? Got
Yes.
some whistle stuff there in the back. How do I crank this? I don't know. There it is, right there. So, figured I would come out here and let you guys see what's going on out in the shop.
Well, just let the people know who NarxCart Customs is, and those who don't know, and what you do, and about and what brought you to YouTube and that type of thing.
Oh yeah, well now the YouTube conversation's a long one, so we'll save that for a little bit later.
Oh, okay.
Basically, my name's Mike Narx. My brother is Steven Narx, and we own NarxCart Customs. About 5 years ago, Steven bought a ton of tools, like $30,000 worth of tools in a year. And I decided if he's going to buy all those tools, we've got to do something with it. So we started the YouTube channel and started documenting everything we did, basically, and everything we do that's car related, not a ton of family stuff, but a lot of car stuff. During that time, I've built a 30 by 40 shop out here at my house. We've built all kinds of fun stuff. We have the NarxCart, which is, see if I can get out of the way, basically a Grand Marquis death cart that's now boosted, whistle gang.
There it is.
I was thinking a few minutes ago, everything I have back in the shop, except for my lawnmower, is boosted. The OBS truck that's back there in the back, it's got a Pro Charger on it. It's going to make about 600 wheel. We hadn't done any videos on that truck at all. It's a built bottom end 5.3 stage 3 cam, P1 SC blower, so should make 600 pretty easy. 4L80, that everybody uses, and Circle D converter, all that kind of stuff. So
it's gonna be a fun truck.
It's gonna be cool. And it was the dude's grandpa's truck. Like my old truck was my grandfather's truck. This truck was his grandfather's truck. So pretty neat story there. And then you guys saw the NarxCart. That's a 4.6, just a completely stock 100,000 mile 03 4.6 2 valve. From a Grand Marquis, same engine, everything that was in there. And then we added a $150 GT45 turbo to it and some 39-pound Cobra injectors and 2 fuel pumps. And then
there we go.
We're going to set the world on fire, Rocky Mountain Race Week 2.0 this year. So
2.0. And
yep.
And that particular NarxCart, I watched the videos of the build of that, when y'all was building that car. And then y'all took it and drove it from where you're at and to Indianapolis, correct?
Oh yeah, in a weekend. Yeah, we left Friday morning at like 7:30 or 8 a.m. and drove. It's 9.5 hours to Indy in a normal car. Well, this car gets about 150 miles on the tank, so it was about 11.5 hours for us. And so we ended up driving it there. We did Cletus and Cars, huh? I actually wore this shirt today by accident. I was going to wear my Whistle Gang shirt. If you haven't done it yet, purchase some Whistle Gang apparel. Help him out. Get in there. Get that. But yeah, we drove it up there, and that's why the blue panels are on the side. See if I can get out of your way here. Nope. Just in case it rained, we wanted to get a little bit of protection from the rain. And we never hit rain. So we drove up Friday, spent all day Saturday at the track, and then come home Sunday. Didn't do any racing or anything like that. Didn't get in that early. So, hey, look, it's Brailsford's Rides and D.
Yes,
Brooks.
sir. We got Brailsford's. I'll give a shout out to everybody. We got Brailsford's, D. Brooks, E. Vapors, Ken 10. Fly by G Money, Mr. Hustle Hard. Man, I appreciate every last one of y'all dropping in.
Mm-hmm.
Every last one of y'all.
I was just talking to Swaps about the D. Brooks live stream from last week, I think. Man, me and that dude, we're on the same level as far as like getting stuff done. And then Resto Mod, Cortez Resto Mod, that was a good one. As far as those dudes just figuring it out. So
Yes.
I gotta get me
you
some.
watching.
I gotta get me some big sunglasses like D Brooks.
W for the win. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, man. The to take a build and then like I'm going to drive this thing. 9 hours, which turned into a little longer.
Oh yeah.
To take it that, hey, that is something else, man. Something else. And you and your brother, correct, built the car and drove it.
Oh yeah. Yep. And what's funny is, we're both adults. I'm 40, he's 36. And since we were kids, like probably 18, 19, for me being 18, 19, we haven't taken a trip like that, just me and him, since we've been adults. So it was really cool to like just hang out with him and bullshit and just, like spend time without having to worry about, we spend a ton of time together in the shop and working on stuff, but like to be out and about in the car, it was really cool to just hang out. So that was a ton of fun. Yeah. He's doing Rocky Mountain Race Week 2.0 with me this year, with Dustin Prince, who was my co-pilot for 2.0 last year. So Steven's coming, bringing the MG. That's another boosted car we've got.
Yes, I remember when he first was talking about building it at the time. Yep. And if I ain't mistaken, I thought I seen that in the back of a truck, correct?
Oh, yeah. So that's how he hauled the body home. Because what's funny is my dad purchased a 300ZX, and Steven was going to put a small block in it. Well, Steven was here to pick up the MG and had to get the MG and the 300 home. So he just wheeled that MG right in the bed of that truck.
That's all right.
So, yep. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Right.
Two guns, how we doing? I was seeing as I'm reading this here, Brelford Ride said he was lucky enough to serve on the same destroyer in the Navy with his brother. They would deploy together and got to see him in Jerusalem. That's slick, man.
That's cool, man.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yep.
And Brelford, appreciate your service as well as the others that's in the chat that's in the military that done the thing. They say because we know
definitely appreciate that because we wouldn't be able to do this without that. So certainly appreciate it.
And I know E Vapors, G Money, and D Brooks, Cortez Resto Mods, LS Chevy Rider, and if I'm missing somebody, I apologize. But I appreciate y'all's service. Tell us about Stanley. What is I like the backstory on Stanley. I can't remember where I was at. He was telling about where the truck came from, how long it's been in your family, and the coast to coast story. Man, that's tough. I like that.
Yep. So I'll give the long short version, right? So my grandfather purchased that truck in Colorado in '67. It's a '66 GMC truck, and I actually thought about bringing it in, but left the cart inside, and drove it every day till '92. Like that was his daily, right? So during that time, it started as a 6-cylinder manual, inline 6 in that truck. He put 3 of those in, put like 6 3-speed manuals in. Somewhere in the Midwest or like the western side of the country on one of the trips, ends up putting a 283 from like a early Chevelle or something like that. I mean, it wasn't anything special. It was just a 283 V8, and it stayed in it until I got it. Well, while that motor was in it, and the reason that motor stayed so long, which it stayed about 5 years longer than it should have, it's so wore out. But the story you're talking about, so my grandfather built skyscrapers, super cool dude. His name was Stanley Gray. That's why we call the old truck Stanley. It's where it gets its name. He was rough. He wasn't mean. He was just a badass. Like when he passed away, I spoke at the funeral, and like when I knew it was going to happen, I was like I was trying to think, what is a word that, personifies my grandfather, and badass was it, And so this truck, it was my first truck. I had to talk like 2 years. I worked on him to get that truck to where I could have it when I turned 16. Right. So like it's important to me, and it's important to him, or was important to him, and all that kind of stuff. Right. So he's working in New York, right? New York State. I don't know if it was city or not. It's just him 75 years old telling the New York to LA story. But they had 3 days to get from New York to like Southern California. And so I can only imagine the amount of drugs that him and the dude in the passenger seat of that truck did to get across the country, because that truck, I mean, 55 miles an hour, that's it. That's all it wanted. The 3-speed manual was such a low geared rig. It has a 390 gear in the back. And so, I mean, for a long time, 55 was about what you could do in that truck. Now, I'm sure they probably turned it up a little bit, you know, getting over there, but that's probably why they went through so many 6-cylinders. So
yeah. and driving coast to coast, that's quite a distance, you know.
Yep. So it's been to three. Yeah, it's been to 3 corners. It's been New York. It's been on the island. It's been on Long Island, New York City. It's been to Miami, and it's been to LA. So
there we go,
maybe one day I'll put it up in the Northwest. So we'll see. I don't know.
And now, what is the setup that you have in it now?
Yeah. So for a long time, I'm sure your folks watching know who Sloppy Mechanics is, and Matt Happel and all that stuff. You know,
Matt and Sloppy.
Yep. So I started kind of paying attention to LS stuff, probably 2013, 2014, something like that, and ended up purchasing a Tahoe that had been wrecked, and pulled all the parts and pieces off of the Tahoe. And it's a Gen 4 4.8 that's got it's a custom cam, but basically it's a stage 4 truck cam from like BTR, but it's from like comp cams, big lift, tons of duration, you know, lots of lobe separation angle, things like that. It's perfect for a high RPM boosted setup. The whole goal the whole time was 600 wheel. I thought I was doing a 5.3, turns out it's a 4.8. So we like up the RPMs a little bit, all that kind of stuff, right? So, so anyway, so 4.8, 210,000 miles when I started the swap. I did every bit of it myself. Like I cut down the harness. I didn't make the mounts, you know, but I cut down the harness. We had friends over. We pulled the old 283 and 700 R4 out, threw in the 4.8 4L80 at that time with a stock converter. I mean, like everything was 100% stock, which is what I 100% recommend. There's so many people that like, oh man, I've got to build the turbo kit. Oh man, I've got to put the cam in it. Oh man, I've got to do all this before you even start driving it. Well, the benefit to doing it in the stages we did it in was, one, I could get back in the truck. The truck had not ran right in about 2 or 3 years, and I just couldn't get the trans right. I couldn't get the carburetor right. It wouldn't run right, so I couldn't take it to shows. So we put all that in. It ran great, drove great, but the front pump on the 4L80 was out, and I didn't know it. And so like I'm creeping around, and you couldn't accelerate well. It shifted funny all the time. And so without me spending the time to do that, I'd have just thrown a converter in front of it and hit it with 500 horsepower, and it had shelled the trans, you know? And so driving it for a year while I put together the turbo parts and built the turbo manifolds and all that kind of stuff, it made it so much easier to have fun in and things like that. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. Two Guns. How we doing? Dre Folk, how we doing? Thank y'all for dropping in. I'm a big fan of the LS platform. And then just like you, Matt, Sloppy Mechanics. Oh, and I got my Gearhead for Life. I don't know if y'all watch him. Yep. So I've got him. I met him at LS Fest twice.
That's awesome. Yeah. His videos is actually what I use to cut down the harness. So
yeah.
Good stuff.
I referenced a lot of his videos, you know.
Yep.
So so any video that anyone's making, on the LS platform, or any platform for that matter, it's going to help someone somewhere.
Yeah,
I would think.
Yep. And when I first cut down the harness, I mean, I had the big fuse block and everything up under the dash. It looked completely jank, and I drove it. I mean, everywhere. I drove it all the time. That thing started. 30-degree weather, didn't matter. I was in it. So, and then, obviously we went completely ham, and now we make 500 wheel. And I drove it yesterday just down my street, because I haven't driven it in like a month and a half. And so my cousin was over picking up his jet ski. And so I was like, oh man, I'll just run it down. I'll loop around and come back. Well, I let it idle for a long time, got it up to temp, cruised out on the road, and I'm coming back, and he was, coming down to pass me. And I just matted that thing and it laid the blackest marks ever on my road. And I felt so bad because it was in front of somebody else's house, but I couldn't let out of it. It was just like,
oh, this is fun. It's just fun.
Yep.
This is so fun.
Yep. So I got back, I checked all the oil and stuff like that. I've got to bleed the rear brakes, and then I'm gonna start driving it again all the time. It's just too much fun. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like rolling 40-mile-an-hour burnouts. I'm in.
Definitely.
Yep.
And then and then I also noticed, like you were saying, a couple of the guys, you were naming a couple of the guys. I seen that y'all definitely come together. Like whenever, I can't remember when it was, there was a Texas throwdown for trucks some time ago.
Brian Late went down to
right. And a
Black
Sea
Originals. Yeah.
Right, and a bunch of you guys come together, and it was helping each other out, man. I see that.
Yep.
That's nice, man. That is real nice. As far as you got any other builds that you would like to do?
So I get in trouble for this all the time because there's always so many that you got. The struggle I have is that I need a cool car that can haul my daughters and wife in, right? So like my wife is into 4-wheel drive trucks. Well, like she wants a regular cab, long bed, 4-wheel drive square body. I'm like, okay, that's a great truck, but that doesn't haul everybody. So now I'm like, okay, now I need a 4-door 4-wheel drive long bed square body. Dude, you can write that off. I ain't got that kind of money, And so now I'm looking for, I'd like to have, my dad had a 73 Nova. I've been wanting to build one of those. That's on the short list of builds. And then, man, we have so much random stuff that, like the MG Project Adam Ant. If folks dig around in our YouTube channel, they'll see that. That's a fun one. We're gonna mess with some 4-cylinder rear wheel drive platform stuff in the coming years. Just fun, lightweight, autocross type stuff. And then I'd love to build a late 70s Caprice 2-door on like some 26s.
Yeah, that'd be nice. He's in the dog world, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all hear that?
Yep.
He said he wants to build him a dog. Yes, sir.
Man.
You can handle the truth. Thank you. And Johnny Clyde, that's your buddy.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, I love Johnny Clyde. Now he just moved to Dallas, sadly, so I don't get to see him as often. But while he was here, we did hang out a few times. Luckily for us, he always came to us, which made it great. So him and I had dinner before he left, and that he's making some moves. I'm telling you, if you enjoy food stuff, his channel is great. But he's a huge car guy too, so he understands, and he worked right alongside us on Black Seed's C10 truck that they were getting ready for that show. So it was a lot of fun. And Black Seed lives like 20 minutes from me, so I get up there as often as I can. So now Eric, I got to get out and see Eric a little bit. Destroyer 1320. But that's Arizona. Yeah. That's a long time.
That's a good little haul. Destroyer is a good guy. I met him in Dallas. Good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy. I missed him in St. Louis. Didn't even know he was there, but
dang.
I didn't, But good guy, and it's the YouTube community. Well, how YouTube works is you're able to meet some of the same people that you watch is pretty cool. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. And I apologize for not being able to come to Indianapolis. I had to work. My plans were to be there. I was like, man, I'm going. I'm coming in. I mean, because I ain't but 2.5, 3 hours from there. Why not? But I had to work.
Hey, it was a ton of fun. We're going to do it again for sure. He'll definitely be back to Indy. So when he goes the next time, we're just going to go crazy again, and we're going to rent another house, and we're going to fill it full of YouTubers and just be live all the time. So I don't know. It's man, the one thing that is so cool about the car community is, and we do a lot of charity work for a children's shelter here in town. And so we use the car community to raise money and raise awareness and things like that. And the great thing about the car community is generally we get shit on by everybody. So when we find other people that are like us, we're like, oh man, you're my new best friend, And so you end up meeting people, and that's what's great about the YouTube community is, you take the car community, and now you narrow it way down to like the car YouTube community. I mean, there's 50 of us, let's say, that would talk all the time, so that's not very many people. I can go to a Cars and Coffee here in town and there'd be 400 people. Same thing for you. Probably more for you.
Where are you at?
So we're Northwest Arkansas. So we're actually in Bentonville, Arkansas, which there's a real small retail company here. They own most of the town. It's called Walmart. They home office right here in town. So I work daily. My day job is a logistics for vendor of Walmart. So I do that all day and then come out here in the shop at night. So so tons of fun.
Yes, Walmart. That's all right, man.
Yeah, real small company.
And they're everywhere. Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Definitely everywhere.
Bentonville is tiny. Okay, we're probably 25, 30,000 people, right? And it's not very big square mileage wise either. There's 7 within Bentonville. So if there's a new Walmart store coming out, we're getting it. They're everywhere. It's amazing. So.
Well, last I heard that we have the smallest in my area. Yeah, It is not a super Walmart. It don't offer you no oil changes, tire changes, none of that sort.
Dude, that's got to be one of the oldest stores in history.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And if it's not the smallest, it's in the top 5 of being the smallest.
Man, that's wild. I would imagine they would have put a super center in. How far is the super center from you?
30 minutes either way.
What? That's crazy.
I live in a rural community to where, I generally a 45-minute ride to an hour, 15-minute ride for work. Sometimes it's not unheard of.
No, I'm out. I have no desire for that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So all last week I rode my bicycle to work because I'm a mile and a half. So
there you go.
Yeah. And got to shed some of that weight, got race weight, man. You got to get down and weight, get that cart faster for 2.0.
2.0. Is it? Are you big into the drag racing thing? Because I a couple of pictures I put up, you see you put Stanley on the track, and so are you big into that, or you just personal best type stuff, not necessarily racing someone for a win?
Right. Yeah. So I talk a whole lot of smack just because it's fun. But yeah, to purposely build something to drag race, no, never. I'm like D Brooks, man. I want fun street cars, and the reason, the original goal of the old truck, I didn't care what kind of power it made. I just wanted rolling burnouts at 40 and to be able to take my kids for ice cream. There we go. So hashtag burnouts and ice cream, baby.
Burnouts and ice cream. That is fun stuff, man. And then it's pretty cool that you say that everything you have is boosted, but other than the lawnmower. That is, it's just a matter of time. You'll be finding one. Hey, honey, I found something. Well, let's try this.
Hey, there's some zero turns that have a small turbo on them. I'm like, I may need that. Yes, if I had more than an acre, I would do that. But one thing I want to talk about too, real quick, and get a little technical with folks. D Brooks talked about the converter in the G8 that he had and how loose it was, and felt like it was slipping all the time. In the old truck, I did a TCI triple disc, and it drives like the stock converter did, but then you mat it and it just flips right to like 3,500. So that's one thing for folks that have listened to that podcast, look at the difference. And like his was probably a triple disc Circle D or a single disc Circle D. And the difference in the triple disc is you get a lot more lockup at a lower RPM, general acceleration, like you would coming off of a.
You taught me something with the triple disc and the single disc. It makes sense.
Yep. Yeah. It's not just more money. It's just it helps with the goal with the converter in the old truck was that I could turn my wife loose in it and it make 500 horsepower, but she be able to creep it wherever she wanted to, because she's not going to drive it like I would. Right. So she could be able to cruise anywhere she wanted to go if she wanted to ever drive it, which she hasn't yet. So.
Yeah. He just commented. I'm sorry, y'all ain't putting no comments up. Hey, Big Chief. Yep. He just commented, said it was a single disc.
Yep. Yep. And they're great converters. You know what I mean? But that's one thing you'll miss sometimes is when you're building a streetcar and you call the converter company and you're like, hey, this is the cam I've got, and your cam is a high RPM setup and, made to turn 7,000 RPM. And they look at it from a drag race standpoint because that's what they're building, So keep that in mind. And the difference in 500 wheel horsepower and 600 wheel horsepower is the length of the burnout you can do, right? So like if you're building a streetcar, man, 500 is really probably more than you'll need.
Right. I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. Because and you got to have the slow. Because if you ain't got the slow, your goal becomes there's a problem.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's why I said I need to bleed the rear brakes, man. I really laid into it one time. We were running probably 85 or 90 down, right here in front of the house on this 4-lane road that's in front of the sheriff's department. And I see a sheriff coming and so I'm on the brakes hard and it's not slowing down like it should have. You know what I mean? Like you just get the blip of the lights from him. Oh, got it, bud. Sorry. Yeah. So
yes,
yeah, brakes are a good thing. Gotta stop. Gotta have the whoa.
Yes. That was how we doing, CSC. Big Chief. I appreciate that. I was talking to he rails, and that was his thing. He says, I could build it to go fast. He said, but yeah, everybody seems to forget about slowing down at the end of that track.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's
so
right. Did you guys see did you see CNC AutoWorks cross 1,000 the other day or yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's exciting.
Appreciate that. And I actually congratulated him before it happened because he was like 7 shy. I was like, man, congratulations.
Yep. You're going to get it. That's for sure. You're going to get it right there.
Like, congratulations.
That's awesome. Man. That's awesome. Yeah. It's,
sir.
So you want to talk about YouTube and my break for a minute? Because we can lead right into
YouTube, that. Your YouTube, why YouTube and the thing is, man, I was watching that y'all you was doing some breaking down, giving people, tips on how to grow their channel, tips on how to do their thing as far as the analytics and stuff like that. So, definitely speak on that.
Yep. So we dug. Here's the struggle with Destroyer 1320. If he's in here, I would love to give him this compliment to his face, and I may call him if he's not in here after this. But his enthusiasm, and I'm an enthusiastic person. Okay, I'm a community. Let's go. Everybody move forward. Right. Well, he can take that and turn it up about 3 notches. Right. So he's got great ideas. So we were kind of riffing off of this whole thing, and he was finding ways to grow, and I was finding ways to grow, and Brian at Black Seed was like, he was, the shorts, drop your shorts program. I mean, it gangbuster for him while he was at that show, right? So we started all of this stuff, and leading up to that, I was, I had just got to 1,000 subs, and we were working to get monetized. And so I just doubled down on everything we did, right? So everybody talks consistency with YouTube, but the struggle I think you run into is like for me anyways, this is what I ran into. I got a little bit of success, and then like you can't, Google couldn't have given me a check and then me went, oh, cool. Yeah, thanks. No, I was like, oh, you going to pay me? Oh, okay. Let's see how far we can take this, Right. And so that's why we bought the cart. That's why we bought the turbo. That's why and so we chased a lot of that for a few months, really, 2 and 3 videos a week, a live feed every week, 2 live feeds a week, and I got burnt out. But let's back up like 3 years, 535 videos ago. We started doing YouTube because I watched a guy named Gary V, Gary VEE. Gary Vaynerchuk. If you want a little motivation to get off your ass and do something, Gary's pretty good at that. And the stuff he talks about is good. You can do it. It's easy. And his biggest thing was just document what you're doing. Don't worry about creating yet. Just get in front of the camera. So like you and I talked before the live feed even started, I was like, the struggle with live feeds is to get really good at live feeds. You have to do live feeds, right? It's like driving, you have to drive to get better at driving. So So with Gary V, and then I saw that like he was just like document, just show the process, show what you're doing, get comfortable on the camera, do 100 videos before you even worry about anything else, before you worry about getting anything, monetized or anything. Because I think a lot of guys, they see somebody that's monetized, like a big channel is what YouTube shows you, right? So YouTube shows you Cletus and, PFI Speed, and all that group of guys that are, 700,000 subs or more, right? So you see a lot of that. Well, you're like, those guys aren't really doing anything great. It's not like they're changing the world with those videos, right? So you're like, well, I'm going to start doing videos. Well, then if with us, I was like, at least we'll be getting comfortable on camera. We'll at least be getting comfortable editing videos. And then I kept getting better and better. And like I went from recording on my phone to buying a GoPro, and then buying editing software, and then buying a laptop, and then buying a better GoPro, and then buying a better software. So, 530 videos ago, it started as just document what you're doing. And I saw that Mike Finnegan, because I was like, no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to save up and get a camera, which is what everybody does. Oh man, I want a really good camera before I even start. Right. Well, then I saw that Mike Finnegan, Mike Finnegan started just on his phone, and dude, he still records a ton of his stuff on his phone. So like, if that dude can do it, I can do that on my phone. So that's when we started. So if people have watched the old videos from 3 years ago, I'm sorry. Those videos sucked. Audio was junk, all that kind of stuff. So,
well, it shows growth,
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't go back and watch your old stuff and go, oh God, that sucked, then you're not doing something right. So, that's what started YouTube, and then obviously with that started building a brand. I wanted Narcoleptic Customs to be a name, that we could sell merchandise, we could, pay for trips and things like that we wanted to do. Because I have a wife and 2 kids. Steven has a wife and 3 kids and a brand new baby. Our job money goes to the house. Our day job money goes to the house. So all the extra money we have goes out here, to cars that we want to build or whatever, And so we did the LS swap in the old truck. And then that kind of brought us some business. And I was like, well, if we're going to LS swap a couple cars for people or work on other people's cool stuff, well, I'm going to document it, and try and get some of that stuff and get some following and things like that. And, it snowballs from there, and you make 560 videos and you burn yourself out, and you go, I'm going to take a break for a minute, and I'm going to reset. And that's what we're in right now. So your timing was perfect to have me on the live feed to announce.
Hey, man, that, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, dude, we're coming back. We're going to drop our first video back on July 3rd. So, yeah, Apocalypse Off-Road. He's right.
Off-road. Hey, I appreciate you stopping in. Stopping in. Man, as far as I'm green as a blade of grass when it comes to this YouTube thing. And my biggest problem is, as far as doing, like you say, document. I'm like, man, I just want to get it done. I need to pull the phone out and I need to record, but man, I just kind of want to get it done, and there's content to be made all the time. It's just, pull the phone out, record a little bit, and then do your thing.
Record
a little bit, do your thing.
So that's probably the benefit of the late model GoPros, right? Is because you could set that GoPro up and you could say, GoPro, start recording, and then it would just record. The struggle I run into is like, so Steven is 10 times the fabricator, builder, everything that I am, right? But he will not record stuff. I'm like, dude, if you would just record the work you did, I'll edit it, But he just doesn't. He's like you, man. He doesn't have time. He doesn't want to make the time because it does double the time that you work, And so it's hard to spend 4 hours out in the shop or garage or driveway. I think you do a bunch of work in your driveway. It's hard. Yeah. And like the other struggle with that too is like now you're setting up a camera and you're talking to the camera and your neighbors are on their front porch and you're like, I feel weird, but hey, it is what it is. You end up feeling comfortable however you feel comfortable. But I will say one of the biggest benefits to documenting all that stuff was that we ended up, I have videos that, we worked on stuff with my dad. We worked on my dad's cars, things like that I would have never had if I had not hit the record button. And my dad hated being on camera, hated it. He was like, "Oh no, this is dumb. Come on, get over here. Let's get to work." I'm like, no, I got to get this shot. But I'll be able to show my kids and my grandkids and their kids, those
That's
videos
good stuff
of
right
him
there.
and all
It's
that
good
stuff. So
good thinking ahead. Good
well,
thinking
and
ahead.
dude, I'll tell you, we weren't even thinking ahead. My dad.
Well, like you just document.
Yeah.
Documenting.
Yeah. It was never later, like, oh man. Yeah. Now I think about it like. Go ahead.
I was just saying, you go back and watch it, and be like, what did I do there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there's been a ton of times where I've had to go back and look at videos because I forgot how to take stuff apart, like for putting it back together. I'm like, oh man, shoot! I'll be in there watching my own video. How did I pull that apart? What I take off? What bolts did I need? So.
Yes. Yep. What's going on, Robel? Appreciate you stopping in. Yes, sir, man. I'm like I said, I need to record more, but at the same time, if it's the sun's out, it's not raining, I got to get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because chances are it'll rain the next day.
Yeah.
But
so
I try.
You don't even have like a 1-car garage at the house. You got to get you a carport or something. Get you like an overhang or something.
Well, there is a little carport actually up across the road there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where I have a 71 Cutlass, and that's where it sits.
Gotcha.
So,
that makes sense.
Yep. One day in due time, I'll be there. Ain't no big deal.
When you get YouTube famous.
Hey, I'm like you. I'm just documenting.
Yeah, right.
Whatever happens.
I heard. I think Cortez was saying that he rewired the C10 truck. And it made me think of a story. So when I rewired, we were going to take the old truck on a trip, and we were getting ready to leave. Suddenly the brake lights don't work, blinkers don't work, nothing works, right? So I pull back in the driveway, cancel the trip. I'm all mad, and I literally start pulling wires out, right? So I ordered the Speedway 12-wire kit. That's what's in the truck now, and for the next 3 weeks, I worked under like a little canopy, like the fold out canopies, and it was the middle of August, which in Arkansas is, 110 and 110% humidity. Like it's hot, and sweaty. And I worked under that canopy, and I would move the canopy to wherever I was going to be working. Like it'd be angled like this in the morning, and then it'd work like its way around. So
yeah. I have a little pop-up deal that I use, and it's definitely come in handy. Just like you said, move it around. Hey, L Boogie, appreciate you dropping in.
It at least knocks the heat off.
Definitely. As far as YouTube itself, man, what kind of advice you would get someone that's they're deciding that I'm gonna start YouTubing or I'm gonna start documenting? What's your advice?
Give yourself 50 videos before you even care about what you're putting out, because the struggle is like if you had 50 videos as a number in your head before you even worried about getting subscribers or anything, like how different would your mentality? How many videos do you have on your channel? Do you know?
I think it was like 97 or 104, right? Somewhere in that area.
Right. So look back and think, what if like for the first 50, you didn't care if a single person watched them? Like you were just getting comfortable on the camera. You were getting comfortable being out there. You're editing and things like that. Do you edit on your phone, like in iMovie or anything like that?
Yes. I use
So,
Power Director.
Yeah. Oh, yep. So I used iMovie for probably our first 150 videos. Like, and what would happen is I would record every time I was in the shop. So for those 150 videos, that covers about 150 times in the shop. So if I was working for an hour out here, I'd end up with a 6-minute video, So, and it's so hard to edit on your phone. The other struggle is if you have a laptop that you can edit on, like you might as well go ahead and get some kind of camera to edit with, because getting the files from your phone to the laptop in an editable format sucks too. So you end up spending all this time, So I would definitely recommend, if you're just starting, like if you've got less than 30 videos, just keep recording and worry about audio. Like the older GoPros have like a USB plug in the side you can get that runs to a mic. Just buy, I usually keep a little $12 Amazon lapel mic right here on the counter, because I'll grab it and throw it in my phone or throw it in the GoPro to get that. And you don't have to be on top of the camera to make the mic sound good. You can be across the room and like stretch that little 8-foot cord or probably 4-foot cord, I would think, across there just to get your voice as it comes towards the mic. So audio, and then just keep recording. You know what I mean? Like don't fight it. Just keep recording. Because at some point you'll be like, you'll either not care what people think, which is typically what I end up with. I'm like, this is what I did. I'm going to edit it the best way that I can. The hard part is I don't ever think, I'm going to shoot this shot today, and this is how I'm going to edit it. This is how I'm going to record it. This is how I'm going to edit it. This is all this stuff. I'm usually figuring all that out as I'm editing it, wishing, dang, I should have moved the camera over there. I should have taken a better shot here or whatever. So, you got to get comfortable doing that. So 100 videos, put 100 videos into the world, and then figure out what you're doing.
Got you. And then as far as...
Let me ask you this. How much different do you think about your videos now when you're recording than when you started?
Man, to be honest, I'm still learning. I was filming with my phone, of course, in the vertical position. And then I had people say, hey, you need to turn your camera this way. So I start turning my camera that way, So I'm still learning. I edit out probably more than I record. I do. I'm like, that didn't sound good. That didn't look right. Or that one's, that one's supposed to be there. So I edit out quite a bit. But, granted, my videos probably could be a little longer. What do you average, as far as what is your take on an average?
Well, so once you get monetized, you at 8 minutes, they let you slide an ad in the middle. And so 10 minutes was typically my goal. Unless I was doing some kind of long format. I don't know if the first cam swap I ever did was for the old truck. And I literally watched Matt Happ, Sloppy Mechanics, 45-minute cam swap video. So like my video ended up being 45 minutes too, because that's how long it takes to cam swap a LS, so without pulling the heads and all that kind of stuff. So, we ended up like that's probably the longest video I have, except for the live feeds and things like that. So.
I did a cam swap on my brother's car, and I think it ended up being 12 minutes. Like I said, I edited out a whole lot. And I went live on Instagram for a little while, and I was like, man. Then I said, well, I'm losing this footage. I gotta go ahead and put this on YouTube. So, a lot of it I probably lost due to going live on Instagram. But, it's footage.
Part of the struggle, too, is like, how do you bring, so like, I don't know what your Instagram following is, but like, how do you get those folks over to YouTube? Outside of our car tuber world, right? The folks that I really follow, I typically don't cross, like if I follow you on YouTube and I'm not what I would say friends with you, friendly with you. I typically, if I follow you on YouTube, I don't follow you on Instagram. You know what I mean? Just because like a lot of people overshare, right? So, we have Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So like, I don't want the people on Facebook that also follow us on Instagram to see the same post. I don't want the people on TikTok to see the YouTube shorts, so you take all of your normal editing and now you're quadrupling it at least, because you're trying to give everybody that's watching in a different format a different thing, so again, that's really why we got to burnout, was because I was trying to do too much. And so we're going to go back to I'm excited about the next stage in our YouTube, because we're going to do almost like episodes. We're going to do 16 weeks. We're going to try it. I don't know if it'll work. We're going to try 16 weeks on and 4 to 6 or 8 weeks off. So, and I'll physically name it like season 1, episode 1, blah, blah, blah. And it'll be a life, a week in the life of Narcoleptic Customs, essentially. So, because Steven has his shop now, I obviously have my shop. We have our own cars we're working on and things like that. So there's going to be a bunch of builds, and I feel like that'll make it easier for me to slide back into the mix of doing it. And then we're going to do a weekly live feed, probably starting the 10th, whatever the Friday. So it'll be like the 9th, I think, of July, something like that. So we'll get back into that.
Just have an event. Well, it might have been some time ago that you just hosted an event some time ago. Where y'all at a raceway, a racetrack or something?
Yep. So, I was talking about the charity stuff earlier. So we do, because my dad's birthday was in April, we've always, spent that time with him. So when he passed this year, we moved one of our charity events from September up to April as part of like mine and my brother's way to pay homage to him, but then also to do something to kind of start the season off. And we do a drag and drive event now. So it's like a race week or Rocky Mountain Race Week, Hot Rod Drag Week weekend. So you start on Friday and you race Friday night, and then you drive and race again Saturday. And we do that at Joplin here in Joplin, Missouri at Mocan Raceway. So
there we go.
So it's really cool. Yeah, we had like 30 cars. It was a great first time out, and then raised, I think, $1,300 for the local children's shelter. So,
man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. We're hosting this Friday night is our 4th Fast and Furious Premier Car Show event, and we've always raised money for the shelter then, so that's always fun time. So we started with Fast and Furious 6, and obviously with 9, they're going into space. So hopefully we'll get to see Star Wars and Stormtroopers and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to do that, and hopefully they only do 10 Fast and Furious movies, and then we can get back to regular life.
Regular cars again.
Yeah, it would be great. I'd love to see like a revisit of Race Wars. Like maybe one of their maybe we can get Suki back, or did the dude that used to drive the Maxima in the first Fast and Furious, did he live or did he die when they were in Mexico? I don't remember. But we need that dude to host Race Wars so we can see that.
I remember the one that lost his car. He said no when it was the Volkswagen. I can't remember his name.
Dude, right. Jesse needs to Race Wars. He needs to do Race Wars. He just needs to have been doing Race Wars for like 25 years. That's what it needs to happen.
Yes, been flying under the radar. Fighting to get his car back some way, somehow.
Right. No brakes on the front. No brake calipers on the front. Screw it. Lightweight.
What's funny, going on, Rico?
My cousin told me the other day that we actually took my old truck, him, and he's 8 years younger than I am. We took my old truck to the Fast and Furious #1, like the first movie. So that's kind of cool. So,
that's cool. So the truck has a lot of memories, man.
Yeah, dude.
So a lot of memories. That's cool.
I started driving it every day in '97, and so my grandfather drove it every day until '92 or '93. So it's been around a long time.
That is cool. That is cool. It's cool. Yep. It's sad that they just don't make them like that no more.
Man, I'm telling you, no, they make them better now. They drive so much better than that old truck. But I'll say this: there's just something about the way that door closes, that double metal click, ponk. I don't know how to even explain it. You know what I mean? That you won't get that on new stuff. So let's talk. Let's talk future. I know you're probably getting close to time, but let's talk future stuff. How long do you think we are until we are normal EV swaps? Till that's a normal performance upgrade.
Well, I was watching I don't know if it was a live or it was something to do with Matt and several other guys. Mm-hmm. And then I thought I heard that he was looking into that now, doing some
LOJ
research.
Dude? Yeah, the LOJ.
That might have been. They were looking into information wise to that now. How long? I guarantee you somebody's trying to figure it out. And
there's people that have it figured out for sure. I'm talking about dudes like me and you, like out,
man,
10, 15 years, you think?
Me myself may never happen, man. Me and the EPA would just be another letter in the mail for me starting my car today.
That's right. It's like that's another $300 fine. Here you go, friends.
Right. You started your car today. And I rode in one electric vehicle, and it just seemed like instant power.
Yeah,
instant. The moment you push the gas pedal, it's there. But I just can't get over the silence, the no noise.
Yeah. Well, and what's crazy is like it's instant, but it's like in a car, you have the acceleration, like it climbs. In an electric car, it doesn't climb. It's just like punch you in the face,
Yes,
so
it's there.
Yep.
It's there. Yes, sir, Rico. We talking about electric motors. If that's what you want to call them.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to call them.
Yeah,
we're
whatever
definitely
that
headed that way. If y'all haven't checked out E-Vapor's Tesla racing channel, he is definitely into the what do they call it? EV? Is it called EV?
Yep.
What do they call it? EV. So definitely check it out, man. And like I said, I've been in one. The experience was a little different because just like running out of gas, we ended up running out of electricity.
Oh, see, that's the other struggle. Is like, how do you fix that then?
Right. Exactly. Do you call someone and they have a generator that they can?
You throw it in the trunk?
I don't know how that works. Right. I really don't.
So,
but
there's a real good friend of ours that does the charity stuff with us, and they had like 300,000 on their Model S. And loved it, drove it all over the country. But, they would drive like 200 miles and then, they're purposely planning their trip. However, the superchargers are placed. Well, like that doesn't sound like any fun. Like if I want to get in the car and go 400 miles, I can, but I can't in the cart, but in the, it's a dude on YouTube's already done it. Yep.
Put it in a Honda Civic. That's all right, man. That's all right.
Yep.
That is all right. What's going on, Brandon?
The EPA deal is brutal.
It is.
I mean, like I saw JH Diesel's video the other day, $18,000 or $20,000 or something like that. Like what are you gonna do, man?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
then the PFI Speed guys, it wasn't them that was the struggle. It was their customers that bought all that stuff. Like, so then they got their customer list and then went after all of those guys. Like, I don't know what they're going to do if they come after me. I'm like,
why? I mean, why? Why? I mean, seriously, why?
Yep. Yeah. The JH Diesel video is really, his is put together very well because it's talking about the difference. He's like 15 freighters like that bring cargo over produce more than all the cars in the whole world combined. He's like, why are you messing with us?
Because they can.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what it. Yep, we're an easy target. A couple grand. Somebody gets smoked by 80s shit box and it pisses them off.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's how I say. I don't like the fact that you beat me. So guess what? We're gonna take care of this.
Yep. My electric car is gonna be the fastest on the road. That's funny. That's awesome.
I'm it's going to happen. And when it does, I guess I'll just move along with it as it may happen, but until then, I'm going to enjoy what we have now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And like I think the guy at LOJ and Matt were talking about, they're like, a barrel of fuel, like these old cars, fun cars, they're not going away. It's just going to cost you a ton of money to have them.
Yes.
That's what'll happen. And so, like, they're like, a barrel of fuel will be $400 and you and three buddies will split it and you'll each get your whatever, get your 12 gallons out of it, And he's like, that's how people will drive old cars. You'll just go to your buddy's house and get fuel, Yep.
What up, Cortez? Yeah. That's something else, man. It's just how they just, and then the price of aftermarket parts are going to go up. We know that's going to happen. So you want that $150 turbo now? $800? Huh?
Yeah. What? I remember. We'll be those old men. I remember when you could buy a turbo for $150.
Yes. Yeah, so
GT45s.
those are out there enjoying it. Enjoy it now. Why not?
Yep.
It's not like it's going to happen tomorrow, but it's definitely on its way for sure.
Yeah. So, hey, that's a great point. Get your shit running. Like, don't mess around. Don't leave it on jack stands. Get your shit running. Not you, but all them people listening.
I mean,
they've been building cars for 5 years. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Me too, man. I gotta enjoy this stuff. So the dude with the OBS truck's been a 3.5 year build for that guy. Like we got to get it done for him. That's why it's here. So he can enjoy it before the
definitely. And that's the thing, though. The end result in that and having fun is just something else.
Yep.
It's just
long rolling burnouts, sitting chopping at a stoplight or in the drive-through at Brahms while you're getting ice cream for everybody. There's just something cool about driving an old car anywhere. I think that's probably the biggest benefit to the LS swap. Back when we all started doing the research on that, was like that was the best way to get there. Now, will there be better ways to get there in the future? Yep. Coyote motors are great. They handle boost well, but like you just can't do it because they're not affordable. And LS, like I bought that Tahoe that I pulled the engine for. I mean, I gave $700 for the entire Tahoe and to get it towed here, and sold parts off of it for $900. Like we didn't keep the trans or the transfer case or rear end or anything, and sold it, and I had nothing in the engine and harness. So,
right. Johnny Clyde, he's talking about the EVs and the concern with wildlife, not being able to hear them come down the road.
Yeah.
What is that? And you smack into it. I remember that. Yeah. I don't hear it. What is it?
Yeah. Deers are idiots anyways. They're going to jump out in front of headlights no matter what.
No matter what. Yes.
So.
Well, guess what, man? I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, dude.
I
had a ton of fun, and I talked a whole lot. So I appreciate that. It's been a long time since I talked this much.
No problem. That's what it's here for, man. I appreciate everybody that came in. While y'all in here right now, do me a big favor. Go ahead and hashtag Whistle Gang for me, please, if you don't mind. And we're going to try to continue doing these things as long as y'all like them. If not, we may or may not do it, But I appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out, and I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us. Give us some knowledge and what you got going on over there with the builds and the history of Stanley. I love it, man. I love it. Yeah,
it's gonna. What's cool? What I think is going to be really cool about it is what's it going to be like in 20 years when my grandkids are looking at, what I mean? Like, because that truck will always evolve. It'll always have something different. It'll always either make more power or less power and drive all of it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's going to be a ton of fun. I've never been around a vehicle that's somebody's had that long that they've kept messing with, So, hey, I want to say thank you for having me on. And for the folks that haven't seen any of my previous stuff, which a lot of the folks over in the chat, I recognize your names and stuff like that. I mean, we have 500 and something videos on our channel, tons of playlists, tons of, not very many shorts, but tons of, we broke every vehicle build that we have. We've broken it down by a playlist. So pretty easy to follow along. So thank you for letting me introduce myself to all your people. So,
yes, sir. And I will have the link to just, in the description to his channel once I get this all wrapped up. So, and definitely go over and check him out. Payne, how we doing? There was somebody else just come in. Where was he at, man? I wanted to say something to him because well, never mind. I thought it was. Sorry. But I appreciate all of y'all that came in. Payne, of course. And we definitely will try to come over, y'all, and check him out. Because
now I need you to have.
We're gonna hold him to his videos, y'all. Come on.
Yep, that's right. All right, dude. Hey, thanks again. I really, really do appreciate it a whole bunch.
No problem. Again, y'all. Thanks for watching.